Welcome to the Mid South Sports Report Race Talk with Live with Matt and Willie. That's our new the name of the podcast is going to be Race Talk Live. So come up with that 2 shows ago I think it was.
Yeah,
So
something like
Race Talk Live. But Matt, how you doing, man?
that. Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there, man. Been a rough week, but you know we're gonna get through this. So uh, coming up on the show today, we're going to do recap, round 12 recap. Uh, talk a little bit about Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick drama. We'll call it a soap opera. Part two. We'll call it part two. This is a lot of silly season talk this week uh, from Jeb Burton, Sheldon Creed, Grant Enfinger, Daniel Hemrick. There's a bunch of them that that dropped. excuse me. That dropped news. You got of course, Denny Hamlin can't figure out a charter for his second car. So we've got, we'll talk a little bit about Ty Gibbs running over everybody in the Xfinity Series. Uh, seventh win for, was it 7 wins for Larson? 7 wins for Larson. Dinger gets his fifth win. Uh, and then Trucks was off. They didn't race since Bristol,
No, Dega.
huh? Dega, right?
Dega.
Yeah, we got to recap Dega. Uh, three first time winners. So that's going to be that was first. Uh, we've got some Gen Gen 6 cars. Next gen, my bad. Next gen cars. Steve Phelps saying we're going hybrid racing in 2024. Talk a little bit about that, what he means. 2023 schedule not going to look nothing like 2022. And we'll talk a little bit about we'll give our picks for the round of four because I didn't sure in the hell did not get nobody. I had Joey Logano out in the round of 16, so we'll give that. But we're gonna dive on into it. Round of 12 recap. Well, uh, you had let's see, Dega, Roval, and what was the first track that we missed?
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah. Uh, William Byron didn't make it. Christopher Bell did not make it. Kevin Harvick did not make it. And Alex Bowman. That was your
Called it.
four that did not make it.
Called it.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt, you called it. I mean, we can look at Bowman, probably one of the hottest drivers to start the year. He went on a little cold spell, and then what happened? Flat. So, oh,
I
yeah.
told him he was crazy, John. John, I told him he was crazy. I said, you can't take Logano out in the round of 16. I said, he's crazy. Well,
Who wants to pick? Who's the spotter that now? Is it Presley? Ain't Presley a spotter now?
I think so, yep.
Yeah, I think Robert Presley's son is a spotter now. It's a lame duck. You gonna take the best spotter out and put in this guy that's your best friend? Best friend. Come on, man. Come on. Come. On. We'll see. We'll talk a little bit about Penske later on. Uh, might not like it, but we'll talk
It,
about it.
look, listen, if I'm going to recap this round of 12 and the four that got eliminated and everything like that, you know what? Harvick to me was just, you know what? He showed a little bit of a stroke of brilliance at Bristol. And this round, he showed us that he can wreck.
Yes.
He didn't show
Yes.
us anything else. So him being out, not a surprise. Christopher Bell, it was like I said, yes, he squeaked through the round of 16 into the round of 12, but at the end of the day, lack of experience, first time in the playoffs, I was not expecting them to go through. When it comes to Alex Bowman, they've been on a cold streak for a long time. Now, granted, they had some bad luck at Vegas. He got turned at Talladega and basically finished last and was put in that must-win situation at the Roval. And unfortunately, I don't think they showed up. Now, the car, I mean, you guys are going to biased. No. 24 car, definitely by far. If you could
Fastest
say that
car.
a car has had the worst luck in this playoffs, I'm putting it to the 24 car. Because I'll tell you what, Vegas, he don't get that flat tire, he wins that race. Talladega got caught up in somebody else's mess, not much he could do there. And unfortunately, I think at the Roval, it would have been a good battle with Reddick, but you know what? Reddick could have
Reddick
caught
didn't
him.
want it. Yeah.
Reddick could have caught him, but Reddick wasn't going to pass him.
Well, I mean, Reddick just drove right through him.
And Reddick drove over him too, and that was but regardless, at the end of the day, it just was kind of like the 24 just had really terrible luck. I mean, they were out leading. They had a 4 or 5 second lead, and all they were talking about on the radio was when is the bumper cover going to fall off of the 9.
Yeah.
They knew the caution was going to come out because the bumper cover was going to fall off of the 9 car. And it wasn't, and Rudy Fugle said the best thing I think he could have said on the radio was like, you know what? I can't go and ask them to pit to fix the bumper cover to save our season, because if they pit and fix the bumper cover, that ends their season.
Right.
So they've got to do what they've got to do to advance. We have to do what we have to do to advance. If the bumper cover falls off, we'll have to deal with it when the time comes. The time come, they restarted. He got an okay restart, and Reddick ran him over going into the bus stop in the backstretch.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Reddick knew that he was racing the 24 for the win, basically.
Yes.
At that time, he was racing the 24 for the win.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you boil it down to Reddick's out there racing for himself, but he should have been more cautious racing around playoff guys.
At the end of the day, this is a learning experience for Tyler Reddick, because you know what? Listen, you could be in that position next year.
Yes.
The roles could be 100% reversed. And now, do you think that William Byron is going to give you those extra couple inches that you might need to clear him? Doubtful.
No. You race how you want to be raced.
He was hot. I mean, William Byron's usually a pretty calm and cool cucumber behind the wheel and everything like that. I have never heard him speak the way he spoke on the radio about the 8 car after that little fiasco. He was hot.
Be honest with you, I thought it was the 5 that got him. I thought the 5 was underneath of him and barely clipped a bumper, and he, it just kind of not sent him. It just put him in that thing.
No, the 8.
There should be a rule in place where if you are forced to miss the chicane, that not run over, and there should be a extra. Okay, you don't have to stop completely, just as long as you get a rolling stop like you did.
Yeah,
there were so many people complaining. Oh, he didn't stop completely.
But as far as I'm concerned, though, if a guy goes and punts you going into the chicane and you miss the chicane because the guy punted you to miss it, 8 car penalty, front stretch, stop and go.
There you go. Yes.
Right.
Ain't it the same thing as when
it ain't no different? It ain't no different than somebody forcing a guy below the yellow line in Daytona or Devon. It's exactly the same thing. Listen, you go and you punt a guy and he misses the chicane because you punted him. You get a penalty too.
Yep. I 100% agree. We'll move on. Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick. drama. We'll call it drama. We'll call it soap opera and all that. Uh,
Listen,
yeah,
listen,
that will.
listen. Kevin Harvick is a champion of the Cup Series.
Yep.
And Kevin Harvick called Chase Elliott out, telling the whole world it was like talking to his 9-year-old. He don't want to listen. He don't want to do this. He don't want to do that. So then what does Kevin Harvick do? He acts like a 9-year-old, punts Chase Elliott, wrecks him, flat out wrecks him. And you know what? He has no remorse over it. And it's like, listen, what you did was no better than what he did at Bristol. None.
Here's my thing: is it's the same thing they fined Bubba Wallace when he spun out and admitted he spun out. They fined him $50,000.
Yep.
They asked Chase Elliott, "Was this payback from Bristol?" And his comments basically was, "Sometimes you got to teach life lessons." I didn't expect this from Kevin Harvick. I really
No.
didn't.
No.
I did not see this coming. I mean, it was a shock to me. But NASCAR had a meeting with him, I guess yesterday over the phone. It's supposed to be a done deal. Uh, unless Kevin wants to retire early, it's a done deal. If Kevin wants extended at Martinsville, I guess he's just going to be in early
I'm,
retirement.
I am pretty sure what NASCAR told both of them is you wreck one another. It don't matter if it's Chase or if it's Harvick. If you wreck the other one, you're going to get parked for a race.
Yep. 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 It's NASCAR. I'll be honest. NASCAR needs a rivalry like this to keep NASCAR because it's not putting a good product on the track in the Cup
They
Series right
agreed.
now.
They've got to have they've got to have a rivalry of some kind. I get that. They have to have that. But listen, where I draw the line is the same place as a lot of crew chiefs draw the line. You know what? You two want to go out the back of the woodshed, beat the hell out of each other because you don't like one another and don't like how you race. Fine. Don't tear up my race car.
Yeah. They
And
ain't the
what
one
happened?
fixing them.
You ain't the one fixing them. And what happened? Kevin Harvick acted like a child, and now there's two race cars that have to be, well, they'll never be fixed because they're Gen 6
No.
cars. But at the end of the day, there's two destroyed race cars.
No.
The
You're right.
9 car is going to need a rear clip. If they were
Yep.
fixing that car, the 9 would have to have a rear clip, and the 4 car is probably a pile of junk.
Right. Yeah. If you want a sheet metal cell, wait for Racing Warehouse. You probably get you a nice sheet metal because that's
But
that's who's going to sell the sheet metal.
I get it. I know what John's saying here. He says, he's got a comment there. NASCAR's got to stop showing favoritism to the 9 car. Listen, this kind of crap's been going on for years. They said the same thing about the 24 car back when Gordon drove it in the glory days. NASCAR's got to quit this, and then it was with Earnhardt. It was with Dale Earnhardt Jr., right? Didn't matter who it was. It was always somebody had some kind of favoritism toward the other. As far as I understand, this meeting that NASCAR had with the two of them is, I don't care who it is.
They didn't let them talk.
You punt the other one and wreck them, you're parked.
Yeah. I know John's probably talking about the whole bumper deal. That can go two ways, right? Yes, it was flapping in the wind or whatever. But they've also, it's been a long time they tell a car to come in the pits to fix that car under green flag conditions. Could they held him a lap if he lost his bumper? Yeah, probably. That's to me that's the same thing as, okay, you left the pit stall with a piece of equipment attached to your thing. Same thing with a piece of, you go to a short track and a piece of lead falls out and it's got your number on it. Guess what? You're parked for that race and probably fined. A lot of tracks are fined, so you're losing a
But
piece of your car. But
you know,
I don't think it's favoritism. No, I don't think it's favoritism.
no, I don't know. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, listen, there's a very easy way NASCAR could fix this, right? If you've got a body panel that's going to fall off the car, then guess what? If NASCAR deems that you have a mechanical issue that you need to come in and serve, show the black flag to the car. I don't care who it is. If there's something where it's like, no, that's got to be fixed,
Yes.
write it into the rules. Because they did say if they were at an intermediate track, the 9 would have been black flag because the rear
Yes.
bumper is a requirement.
Yes. Intermediate track, super
So,
speedways, all that. They consider
so
it a
change,
short track.
but so
Not a
then,
short track, but
but
they should
then you know
same.
what? Change the rule. Rear bumper cover is a requirement regardless.
Yeah.
Don't matter what track it is, you have to have the rear bumper cover. If you don't have the rear bumper cover, you can't run.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Now we go to Martinsville and the guys tear the rear bumper cover off. They're parked. You can't have it both ways, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree. We're going to move on to silly season talk. A lot of silly season talk. A lot of dominoes. I'm not saying dominoes are starting to fall in the Cup Series because I think them dominoes have failed. There's not going to be hardly no movement in the Cup Series pretty much
Well,
no more.
I think the biggest shock for me was that NASCAR Euro team all of a sudden, where they come out of the blue and
How did that fall through the cracks that they announce on Friday and show up on Monday? Like, did somebody just say, "Okay, we built another car"? I don't know who built that car. Somebody had to build the car. I mean, it was just built overnight.
like that to me came out of left field. I did not. Did you see that one coming? Because I sure as hell didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming. I mean,
You know,
it's good. It's good that Jacques Villeneuve, got a ride. I mean, if everybody knows who Jacques Villeneuve is, he's the one that destroys everybody in the road course races, pretty much. I mean, if you go back,
you got it wrong. Now, if we're gonna put Ty Gibbs and him in the same race, there won't be nobody left to race.
Oh yeah, where was he at? Was it Watkins Glen that he was running over everybody? No, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was Montreal.
It was Montreal. He ran over everybody. Yep.
Yes, his home track. It was his daddy's track. It's named after his daddy.
Yep.
The what is it? Circuit of Villeneuve.
Yep. Circuit de Villeneuve, I think it's called.
Yeah, yeah, destroying everybody, and about won the race.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you destroy everybody, there ain't nobody left.
No, didn't he win? Didn't he win a Cup race or a Xfinity race?
He might have. I can't remember. But anyway, it was just that one come out of left field totally. I mean, right. the GMS announcement with Ty Gibbs driving that car. I mean, we said that last show. That was not a surprise.
No.
Was a little surprised that they went with the 94 for the number, but
I don't see. Only thing I said, they said something about it was a Bill Elliott.
It was a Bill Elliott ran that number for a few years.
But he run that number because they picked that number because of an engineer that worked with Bill Elliott or something. I don't. Yeah. So first one is Jeb Burton. Of course, he announced that the front stretch that he was not going to return in the Xfinity Series for 2022.
Oh, hang on a second. Somebody owes me some money. Because somebody did not get through the round of 12 in Xfinity as your expert co-host predicted.
Yeah, correctly. You're right. You're right. I owe you it's 20 American. And that'll equal up to be what, $24 Canadian?
Oh God, who knows? It could be 100 of it Canadian by the time it's all said and done.
Oh yeah.
Now
I kind of got.
I got to take a little bit of a grain of salt here on this one, okay? Because the Xfinity race at Vegas, I went to sleep that night, and I had this feeling that Jeb was going to be involved in a wreck, and he was going to wreck out of that race. And I told Willie, I said, I don't feel good about it. I said, I think he's going to wreck. And Willie's like, you fool, you know what? And then what happens?
He wrecks on
The
lap 20.
98 and the who was it? There was two of them decided, let's make it 5 wide going into turn 1.
Wasn't
And
it the 98 and Myatt? Wasn't it Myatt, the other one?
yeah, it was a 2-car, yeah. And the
Yeah.
two of them went in, and boom, look, there's Jeb wrecked. And I went,
And the 68. And the 68 wrecked. There's 4 of them.
yeah, yeah. And I went, and Jeb was destroyed, and I was like, uh-oh. Well,
only DNF of the year.
And
only DNF of the year.
And I did not get very nice comments in our group chat with Michael after that little deal.
No, you know, I wasn't letting you off the hook very nicely on that.
No, you didn't.
If everybody don't know, Jeb is my guy. I've followed Jeb since he was at JRM. I loved him in the truck series. I mean, the kid can wheel a race car. He just is like Matty D, which Matty D's not yet. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. But Jeb is proven he can wheel a race car. This past week, I'll be honest with you, I've lost a ton of respect for Colic. That relationship with Colic has went sour in a hurry. They went for Jeb was a part of the trio to Jeb, what are you doing? I'm a little different race fan than most people. If I cannot listen, or if I can't watch the race, I'm listening to that my guy's radio. That pretty much tells me, it don't tell me who's winning. I can keep up with it on my phone. But I was listening to Jeb's radio with you had Freddie Kraft spotting for him and another guy that had the chicane in the back. Then you had Bruce that is his spotter. They have zero confidence in Jeb. I don't care what they say. They can come on here and say, "Oh, we have all kinds." You have zero confidence in Jeb. They kept saying, "Well, he's driving way over his head." I reckon he's never raced at Roval. He blew turn 1. I reckon he must have got under the Golden Child, Justin Haley's car, because Chris Rice immediately come on the radio and said, "You tell him if he does that again, he's got teammates out there, he's going to get parked." And I was in shock, all because it's all about teammates, not about yourself. Teammates they was locked in the next round. Yeah, he's out there trying to race.
Well, he had to win. He basically had to win to get to advance.
I don't know if he had to win because he was only 8 points behind. He gained a lot of points at Vegas.
Yeah.
And man, I'm gonna tell you something. Bruce usually goes for strategy. He was doing whatever the 20 car did. Like the 20 cars who you got to beat. I hate to say it, but I feel like they didn't want him to advance because then, they would get more criticism. Hey, why are you not taking this guy next year? This guy's in the round of 8 of Xfinity. Why not take him? Just my opinion. Jeb's announced he does have some opportunities in Xfinity. He did announce that. I think he just announced it, but he might have opportunity to run Cup for Colic. I don't think that's a chance and heck that I would take. But hopefully he lands somewhere. But oh well, man. I mean, he go back to Truck Series. Let's trophy hunting Truck Series. Do what John Hunter's doing. So that's what I do.
Anyway, karma bit me in the butt big time because then the 24 got the flat tire the next day. Damn.
Yep.
Sheldon Creed, I'm still $20 richer.
Yep, you are. Yep. Sheldon Creed going to the 2 car. I didn't really see this one coming. This caught me off guard. Didn't even hear no news about it. I'll be honest with you. I think it's kind of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. With
damn
Sheldon,
right it is. Oh, damn right it is.
Sheldon Creed going to the 2 car. you hire my grandson full time for the Cup Series. So it worked out. We'll see. I think Sheldon Creed, if they give him the car, he probably could be a Xfinity championship contender.
Yes.
The dude can wheel a car. I believe that will be a 2 to 3 win, 2 to 3 win entry next year in that 2 car. Wheeling Performance is Wheeling Engineering is who's going to sponsor that car. Got Grant Enfinger taking over the 23 truck. This dude right here still finished top 10 in points, only missing one race.
Mm-hmm.
He was not eligible to make the playoffs because he missed the Daytona road course. He made every other race. He was either in the 9 truck or he's in the 98 truck. It didn't really look good when you had Christian Eckes win in the 98 truck and he didn't win in the 98 truck. But he moves over and takes over that 23 truck at GMS. GMS, to me, is still probably the top truck team in the Xfinity series. So he's moving to good equipment.
He'll be a Final Four competitor next year.
I'd say you're right. Daniel Hemrick going to the 11 car for Colic. This
isn't it amazing what money can buy you?
You took words out of my mouth. This is not a talent move. This is a money move. Okay, this is the same thing as Riley Herbst going to Stuart Haas with Monster. This is a money move. You're moving Hemrick over from Joe Gibbs. I reckon Joe Gibbs still want to keep him. Joe Gibbs gave him a contract on the table to retain him for 2022. He turned it down and went to Colic. I mean, it is a smart move because Colic is probably the top. I wouldn't say I think JRM's still the top Xfinity team, but I think you still have to put Colic right there.
There's 3. I think you've got
Penske,
3 top teams now.
I think Penske,
you could even say 4. You could have Penske, you've got JRM, you've got Gibbs, which is still a top tier team. And Colic, I think, they have made the case this year, finally, that to me, they're a top tier Xfinity team.
I mean, they've got 7 wins, so, I think you've got to put them in that conversation.
You got to put them in that conversation. And I think what's happened is that it's exactly what you and I talked about before the show, is Colic is now a top tier team. So guess what? Sponsorship for those cars doubled.
Yeah. It's not like Ryan Vargas at JD Motorsports getting all these sponsors, or you got Kyle Weatherman getting all these sponsors for Mike Harmon. They're probably paying $15,000 to $20,000 to get on the side of that race car and you can get a full wrap. A $15,000-$20,000 sponsorship for Colic wouldn't get you a quarter panel.
No, might get you a small decal.
Right. It's same thing with Sheldon Creed with Marcus Lemonis. You're wanting us to wrap our truck for $15,000. We'd rather have it non-wrapped and say, "Come get it, boys," because we're winning races with the unsponsored truck.
Yep.
It's all about that. That's why. I mean, look at the 54 car. He won a race without a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
He won a race without a sponsor. Joe Gibbs can put somebody on the side of that race car. He could probably call up M&M's. Hey, you mind sponsoring my grandson for this race? Yeah, how much is it?
No. Yeah. Yes, I know. Yes, I do have a problem sponsoring your grandson because he runs over the whole field.
Yes. This was a shock to me, John Hunter coming back to KBM in 2022, because everybody thought that he was going to Joe Gibbs in a 20 car.
This tells me with fair certainty, and I'm almost positive about it, is that one of the Gibbs cars is going away next year.
Yeah. You're going down to 2 entries.
Well, 3.
3.
It'll be 3. Yeah.
Who are you going to put in the 54 car?
The 54 car is still going to be the star car.
But who's going to run it? because
Oh,
you're not you don't have Kyle Busch anymore. Bubba don't want to run Xfinity races.
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
here's my deal. Here's
maybe
my
the
deal.
54 maybe the 54 car is the one that's going away.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
but I just I get the feeling that one of those cars is going away because Gibbs, I think,
I
is
think
putting.
Brandon Jones is safe because he's got a lot of money with him.
I think the problem is that I firmly believe that Gibbs is putting all the money and all the resources behind Ty.
I think Ty takes over probably in 2023. He probably takes over either Truex or Bush.
Yep.
One of them two. I don't think Bush has too many years left. I don't think he wants to run a couple more years.
Brexton's getting too involved in racing. I think that's going to be the thing for him. I think.
What's Braxton, like 8 or 9 right now?
6.
6. So he's got a couple more years before he really gets heavy into racing.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Braxton Bush probably in a late model by 10.
Good chance.
I'd say he'll be in a late model at 10 years old. The kid, I mean, he's winning. I mean, of course, I mean, they're showing up at Millbridge with laptops and spotters and, stuff like,
but but we also have to think about this here, Willie. At the end of the day, is big. Kyle Busch started his Cup Series career
at 18, got turned away at a racetrack because he was too young.
Wasn't it? I can't remember. Was it 04 or 05 when he took over the 5 car? I think it was 04.
Yes, he was 18 years old.
It was 2004. Well, hell, he's only 3 seasons away from his 20th season in Cup.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? So yep. I'm kind of like, 20 years in the Cup Series is a pretty.
How long did Junior stay? What? Career. Junior stayed what? 21, 22?
No. Junior only stayed
18 years.
16.
He retired. He retired in 16?
No, 17. 17 years.
His first year was 2000, right?
Yep.
First year was 2000. Same year.
17. Yes.
Same year as Kenseth.
Yep.
Same year as Kenseth and Newman.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them. That's probably your best rookie class of all, probably, I'd say.
They'd be right up there.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Big Machine Motorsports. It's Big Machine Motorsports. Teams up with RCR Alliance. This is a pretty big move for Xfinity. It kind of strengthens RCR up a little bit. RCR's already got so many alliances. I mean, NASCAR's probably going to step in for long. Hey, you got to have the field under your wing, but they're not going to be on campus. That's what I read. They're still not going to be on campus. They're moving close to Welcome, but I don't think they're going to be in Welcome. Yeah. Of course, you still have Jay Buford as the driver. Scott Brissetta loves that kid. Absolutely loves Jay Buford. But I don't think Jay Buford is probably going to be your star. I mean, he's had a couple top 20s, but it's going to be hard to transform him into an oval guy. He's a road course guy. So then you got 2311. Charter talks fail. So it looked like FRM is going to bring back both cars.
Yep.
Do Alfredo come back for a year or two? I don't. Unless he has sponsorship, I don't know if he comes back.
This is where, to me, it got a little bit tricky. Because if they decide to bring back 2 cars.
We know Loves is safe with Michael McDowell. That's a safe.
McDowell's safe. He ain't going anywhere. But the whole thing is that there's this 4 dangling carrot out there by the name of Matt DiBenedetto. And he is just a dangling there. And I mean, as a free agent, if FRM was going to say, we're going to keep 2 cars, God, like, damn, Anthony Alfredo, Matt DiBenedetto. Yeah.
It depends on if Alfredo brought his own sponsorship.
Well, Alfredo needs more time in the Xfinity or Truck Series before he
Yeah.
can be. I mean, he
I'd
sucked.
almost put Ryan Priest in that 38 car.
There are better caliber drivers available
Yeah.
right now in free agency that they could put in that car than Anthony Alfredo.
If I was Joe Gibbs, or if I was Bob Jenkins, I would probably be calling up either Matty D or Ryan Priest to drive either my Cup car or my Xfinity car.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Ryan, I mean, here's what Ryan Priest don't have no sponsorship money. Okay, he didn't bring up the sponsorship money with JDG because they have Kroger. All that's Kroger. Both
Yeah.
of them cars are sponsored by Kroger brands. So they don't
But
have no sponsorship money to bring with them. Matty D, same way.
yeah.
So they've got to do something, or FRM, you know.
So anyway, I think there's good first free agents sitting out there. I think that FRM could be looking at 2311 when it comes to the second charter. It's probably going to be either the second Spire charter, I think, or it's
The one
going to
they
be
just bought from the 00.
yeah, could be that charter because they could flip it and make more money on it, right?
Make $10 million
Or
off of Colix.
you know what, it could end up being Rick Ware because
Yeah.
he has already said he's probably only running 2 cars next year,
He
and he's
said
got
he
4,
has. He said he
and
has
he's got
enough sponsorship for 2 cars full
yeah,
time next year.
yeah. But he said 2 cars for sure, possibly a third. The fourth one for sure is a no go, and he's got 3 charters, and he's got the
He
fourth one leased.
Yes, that's another question. That 51 car is still in the bottom 4 of the points.
I personally think because that charter has a tie to Richard Petty. Now I don't remember if that's the 43 charter or the 44 charter. I don't remember which
44.
one it is. That's the
44.
44. You
Yes.
know what? I'll tell you, Richard, sell the damn thing to 2311.
Here's what the problem
Get your
with.
10 million bucks and put it in your team.
But here's the problem with that charter. Petty don't want to let it go unless somebody puts Petty name tied to it.
You
That's
know
why
what?
it's Petty Ware,
I
because he
know,
always wants Petty on it.
but I think it's time.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
You have
Like
you have a driver in the 43 car that is caliber wise to drive the car and win races. Put that $10 million in a team and take this next gen program and go be a top 15 program.
it could
You
very
got
well. I mean, but the other thing could be is that where sells, if he still leases that charter, he could sell one of his 3.
and still lease it. You
Yeah,
can't lease it. You
I
can't
mean,
lease it no more.
they
He has
announced
to sell
this.
it.
They announced it this week that Rick Rare Racing is now in alliance with Stuart Haas.
Yes. I
So
forgot to put that in there.
that should elevate the program, that team's program.
So Rick Ware has had talks with um he's had talks with Newman and Matty D. Would that be career suicide for either one of them guys? I think it could be career suicide for Matty D, but I
Yes.
think Newman, no. I did see where Michael come on and said, he said that he heard Newman was thinking about starting a cup team. That'd be a bad move on Newman's part. If you're going to start a team, I think you probably need to start a truck team or Xfinity team. But it is cheaper to run a cup team. I reckon that's what I'm hearing. It's
Yep.
cheaper. It's going to be cheaper to start one.
Yep.
I'd love to see him start more cars. I want to see 50 cars at
But
Daytona.
Newman's kind of got to the point now where like we had talked. I think Newman is just like, dude, you need to hang up the helmet.
Yeah, go spend time with that young fiance of
Yeah.
yours.
Well, whatever. You need to hang up the helmet because you're just you're hanging around. You're running top 50. Top 20 if you're lucky.
Oh no, he's not
You
even in the
know,
top 20.
it just eh, maybe Matty D goes to Rick Ware Racing with the support of Stuart Haas. Maybe, but you know what? I'm gonna have to see something out of that team before
Yeah, yeah.
before I'd be willing to jump over there.
Oh, I agree. Matty D's got a lot of talent, but he's not really. I don't know. If talent is not really the word that I'm looking for. Matty
He's
D's
at
got a good. He's got a great personality, but the
well,
talent is not showed. You know.
he has to reinvent himself.
Yes.
And you know what? Like when I heard that there was a possibility that he was going to be driving for Colic in Xfinity next
I
year,
was ecstatic.
I was like, this is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Because I think he goes to Colic, he's going to win some races, he's going to get his confidence back, he's going to run good, and then he makes a case for himself for the second Colic Cup car full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because eventually both Colic cars will be full time.
Yes.
They'll have 2 full time guys.
Yeah.
You're
So
not. You're not going to have one charter. You're not going to have one charter sitting there and you're running part time schedule.
no. So that's what I think is I honestly believe. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're running the car and they have charters, they have to run full schedule.
Yes. What I'm saying is that you're going to run multiple drivers in that one car.
Yeah. No.
You
And
know.
that's the thing. I think that would have been the better move for Colic, I think, and Matty D, I think would have been to do that. But Matty D, I think, is just, you know what? Sometimes these guys, once they get into Cup and they get into a decent ride, and they think, wow, I ain't going back down to Xfinity and everything, or trucks or whatever. And it's
And
like,
I
you know
honestly
what?
think
You
Ryan
need to
Priest is
do that.
probably the same way. Ryan Priest probably thinking in the back of my mind, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to Xfinity.
Yeah.
But Priest, if you got money with you, go back to Xfinity. Go win you some races. Go win you a championship.
Exactly.
Somebody is going to be knocking on that door and saying, "My big caliber guy is retiring. I need you to come fill these shoes."
Exactly.
You're now if you go jump into the Xfinity program with Joe Gibbs, you're kind of not likely to get one of them 4 seats,
No.
right? But I still think 2311 ends up being a 4 car team by 2024. I
I'd
think
probably agree with that.
I'd say they're at least going to be a 3 car team by 2023. They're
Yeah.
going to gain a car every year till they get to that 4 car max. So Toyota will have probably 12 to 15 cars by 2024, no doubt about it. So, but we're going to jump a little bit into the next gen stuff. So here's a little statement that I saw, with kind of electric deal. I love me some Bob Pockers. Man, it puts out some great content. Some you don't agree with, some you don't. He's probably one of the fairest reporters out there, in my opinion. But he said NASCAR President Steve Phelps that I reckon it's the World Congress. So he was addressing all of sports. 2024 NASCAR will have some type of hybrid engine or electrification component. Here's basically what I think that's about to happen is you're going to do away with the carburetor, basically. Not the carburetor. You already went done away with the carburetor. But I think it's not going to be no battery powered car.
No.
But I think you'll have a lot of electrical stuff in there.
It's going to be whatever they call it, a supercar. That's what they're doing it, right? The big Porsches and stuff now. It's a gas engine with electrical assistance.
Yeah. I hope they don't. The sound that they have on these cars, I don't know if I really like them. I'm with Freddie Kraft. They sound like a car with down a cylinder. you know, um, it's something you're going to get used to. Now I do want to. I can't wait to see 40 of them scream by you at Daytona. I think that'll probably still be a neat
Oh, they got
thing.
they got one heck of a sound to them.
Yeah, they got a thud to them, no doubt. So that's that kind of caught me. I didn't say it kind of caught me off guard, but we said it before the show. They are doing this to try to attract more manufacturers in.
Yep.
You know,
Well, and
you're
young
having
people
trouble filling a 40 car field as it is. There's 39 cars entered this week.
Yep.
You're having trouble filling a 40 car field. They want to. I'm sure they want more cars going home than they are starting. I do believe, and I honestly believe, NASCAR is going towards you've got to pay to play. Um, they're not probably not going to have no more open teams in the NASCAR the Cup Series. Probably next 5 years you'll see all the open teams go away. If you don't have a technically franchise, you're not playing. I seriously think that they're leaning towards that. So, but I think Honda is probably the manufacturer that's going to be coming.
could be.
I think Honda probably the manufacturer is coming. Um, so he also said this. The 2023 schedule will not look nothing like 2022. I don't know how much changing you're going to do unless just going to change dates. I mean, you're not going to take a Charlotte race and give it to North Wilkesboro, or you're not going to take, a Daytona race and give it to, IRP. You're just not going to do that.
No,
These these
listen.
these these things it's not going to happen.
I think Bristol Dirt goes away after this year.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be one I think that's going to go away. They might end up putting another dirt track on the schedule, but I don't think they'll be running Bristol Dirt.
Dude, I just have a funny feeling they're about to make North Wilkesboro a dirt track.
Well, it could be.
They're fixing it up. They're not fixing it up, but they're cleaning it up. It's you either going to do that or you're going to asphalt it. You're going to have to put more asphalt on it. Why not just put dirt on it? Rip it up, put dirt on
it. Yeah. Wilkesboro is such a great track, though, as a pavement track. Like,
I agree with you.
I would not be happy. And that would be, for a dirt track, that's a big dirt track, because that's almost a 3/4 mile track.
It's like Richmond.
Yeah, that's a
big. Size of Richmond. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they could rip up Richmond and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. So,
oh man, I used to love Richmond, but they just don't. Richmond's not technically a short track, in my opinion.
Well, don't put on good racing anymore.
No, but you don't see no side by side racing. But anyway, they had a next gen test. Some drivers saying a couple things about it. I reckon they had some problem with the steering rack. I reckon Corey LaJoy's was backing out. I think Bowman's backing out. I think.
Yeah,
there's 4 or 5 of them that's backing out.
Bowman's team changed 6 steering racks over testing.
Yeah, see, I mean, if we can't get a handle on these cars, do we really roll it out in 2023? I mean, or 2022?
It's coming.
I know.
It's coming. I mean,
let's not have another CO2 incident, right? Or COT incident.
I mean, I think you know what they're doing here with the air ducts you guys are seeing right now is that's to help with the cooling in the cars, because there's been a lot of issues with heat. These cars, because they're sealed on the bottom, they hold the heat so bad.
Yeah. So you have the sealed the slits in the windshield. You have another slits that's individual slits in the back windshield, and then there's a cooling system on there too. I think somewhere that provides
and
cooling.
These aren't guaranteed to happen either, because supposedly these increase the downforce of the car quite a bit. Which was not something NASCAR wanted to do. I think one of the biggest things that I heard that did make a big difference is, you don't have the picture there, but there were some cars testing the exhaust coming out in the front of the door versus the back of the door.
Where would that? I mean, what kind of advantage would that change anything?
The exhaust doesn't run underneath the driver; comes out before the driver.
Okay.
So it's not as much heat underneath the bottom of the car, and supposedly those did help.
Why not just go back to a boom tube?
So I don't know. You know what? At the end of the day, NASCAR did say that they've tried a lot of things, and supposedly for the Charlotte test in November, when they do the oval test, they will have the cooling package for the drivers mandated on what they're going to do, whether it's the exhaust being moved forward or the slits in the windshield or whatever. But the teams will have that package come
We we
November.
have another test. I don't. We have one more test at Charlotte.
Yeah, that's the November test, and that's supposedly, unless they find out some
That's
more issues or stuff like that, that is going to be basically that's the package the car is going to have.
right, and that's everybody will be there for that one.
Yes.
I think everybody that has a car is allowed. So if you have four Hendrick, four Gibbs, four Stewart Haas, you have everybody there. They have a Daytona test January 11th to 12th. There is a car going to test at Bowman Gray for the Clash. That's going to be the kind of test session for the Clash,
And there
and
is a car
then
test in the dirt.
at I think it's the With. Is it With track? It's a
Yeah.
it's a dirt track in Carolina, North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah. And Stuart
Um,
Friesen's driving the car.
yes.
No cup
That
drivers driving the car.
well, here's the problem with that one. I still have a funny feeling that team right there might field a cup car next year.
Oh, they might.
I have a funny feeling, but if they're letting him test this dirt car, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there is
Supposedly
still
they
a truck
wanted.
team out there that they said that
Yeah.
still has Toyota. You know, Toyota, and I didn't know. Is the '94 is GMS? Is that a Chevrolet team?
Yes.
So there's a
Yeah.
truck team out there that's going to have Toyota support that has not announced their plans
Yeah.
yet.
And I don't know. Supposedly McNally Racing is switching to Chevrolets in the Truck Series next year
Yes, they're going from Toyota
to
to
Chevy.
Chevrolet, and they're with GMS Alliance.
Yeah.
So yes, that is right.
Oh well. So cross instead of wrecking Tundras next year is going to wreck Silverados. So
Yeah, yeah, with Freddie Kraft on the top of the box. Um, did hear Brett Griffin? He's going to be full time with Justin Haley next year. So uh, that'll be a good pairing. I mean, I still think Brett Griffin, even though I can hear the talks, little comments he made about if you don't know how to get in this sport, don't worry about getting into it. Basically, his comments about that kind of struck me, a little off on that one. Um, but I still think he's probably one of the best spotters on top of the box or on the top of the stand with knowledge wise. He can get guys out of trouble pretty quick. He ain't scared to tell Justin how to get the out of there. Drop to the back.
yeah.
So, but he's coming back full time. With him, I think that'll be good. And I think he's going to be spotting for Hemrick next year too in the 11 car. So he's going to be double duty with that. And of course, you'll have TJ Majors going with Brad Kalowski to the two. I think there's more to that. I think TJ Majors is about to get him a front office job over there with that team. I think after Brad finally hangs the helmet up, I think that's why he made that move.
Could be.
He
Could
wants
be.
he wants an after spotting job.
Yeah.
So, um, it, uh, this one, uh, before we kind of start wrapping things up here, it's not a dirt derby no more, but the Mid South is sponsoring a race with the No Toad League. It was going to be the Dirt Derby 200, but Matt, explain a little bit what's plans is now.
What ended up happening is that we always run a practice race on Wednesdays, and just because the No Toad League runs the ARCA car, the setup for Bristol Dirt with the ARCA car was absolutely pathetic. It basically, once the track went dry, you had to run the top, and you couldn't pass anybody. You couldn't even go to the bottom because you couldn't make any time. So a decision was made with my blessing, because of course we are sponsoring the race. to move the race to the Bristol concrete dual pit road setup. So it's not single pit road, it's the old style dual pit road setup. So now the race is called the Mid South Sports Report 200.
Yep. Should be Battle of the Concrete. That's what we should have named it. Battle of the Concrete.
Yeah, we had to come up with a name real quick, so that was kind of what we
That's
settled
good.
on. So.
This was the old logo. Raptor knocked it out of the park with this. I love this logo. Um, I'll be honest with you. We're going to use this logo for a dirt race sometime. I mean, it might not be a 200. We'll take that 200 off, but this logo here knocked it out of the park. Shout out to Raptor. And you're not getting off the hook there, Mr. Matt. We're going to show a little pictures, little Matt's old school street stock deal. This Matt's explain a little bit about this car.
This car was my first super stock. It was 2004. I love that car. I got a couple good wins, some really good finishes with that car. It meant a lot to me, that car. We only ran it 1 year. We had to rebuild it after the 04 season. And once we got all the sheet metal and everything off, we bought the car used. But once we got the sheet metal and everything off, we realized that the roll cage was going to have to be redone. So it needed too much work. So we ended up getting rid of that car, actually. I only ran it 1 season. And the car we replaced it with was not nearly as good as that car was. that car on a dry slick track just about was unstoppable.
Yeah.
It was I love driving that race car.
So Raptor painted you a car, and this is what he turned out. Man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. Turned out great. Of course, we could not show without showing. Gotta love the in loving memory of you of your biggest fan right there. So you know you're racing with heavy hearts Sunday. You're gonna have eyes in the sky for sure. Uh, you know, I'm gonna be on top of that spotter box. We're gonna go get old Norma victory. I
Yeah.
can promise you that. So but looking forward to Sunday for sure. I wish I was behind the wheel. I'll tell you that right now. Uh, I miss it. I miss a lot. Uh, but I'll get back to racing pretty quick once I get the computer issues fixed and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, look excited. A little rollback of memory lane, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, my grandpa Normie passed away early last Sunday morning. Just old age. He was 96 years old. You're still the spotter too, Michael. We might be running a dual setup here. Willie's going to come on for support. So
I'm coming on just to support. I will be crunching numbers and everything.
no, you're not fired. um, but I mean, I've told Michael and Willie the story. I mean, when it comes to my grandfather, um, it didn't matter what race it was. He'd always come to all my races. And he'd be in the stands and everything. And I mean, we'd have some nights where you know what, I mean, we all know what doing short track racing. I mean, some nights things just didn't go well.
Right. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I had a race one night. I can remember that we ran our feature event. We were done at 9:00, and it wasn't until 1:30 in the morning that we were putting the car on the trailer
Yeah.
because
Well,
all the other classes had a lot of issues and stuff. And I always loved to see Grandpa when he would come down in the pits after the race to come see me. And it didn't matter if I had a good finish or, I mean, the car after the orange car, I call that car, I should have painted the damn thing yellow because it was a lemon. I mean, it broke something just about every damn week. I mean, that car had a fuel cell leak in the middle of a race. All of a sudden, I was going down the straightaway. And my dad started flagging me in. And I'm like, what's wrong? He says, you're blowing fuel at the back of the car like nobody's business. I'm like, what? Yeah. I mean, that car had lots of problems. But the orange car, that thing was a good car and everything. But it didn't matter. 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, Grandpa's not going to be here. He's going to have to have gone home by now or anything like that. And sure enough, he'd come down in the pits, give me a hug, and say, "Hey, you did your best. Good job." He says, "You get him next week." And I mean, he was, when I was driving the race car, he was my biggest fan. Um, I miss him dearly. And I know he's going to be riding along with us there on Sunday. And I'll warn the rest of the no toad field, don't get in my way, because I'm coming for the win on Sunday.
That's right. That's right. Ain't unloading the thing and not expecting to win. So it's gonna be fun. Again, Raptor knocked that car out of the park.
Yeah, Rafter Al Corey is his name, Rafter. He knocked the car absolutely out of the park. The car looks amazing.
Yeah.
I showed it to the boys there after he did it, and the boys were like, "That is one sharp looking race car." And
Yep.
I mean, it's just a simple orange with white number and white wheels. But
Simple. And
it's
one thing I know, you know, when we used to go racing, one thing that we knew it was going to be a bad night when you was working on the race car before the races even started.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. There's been 3 or 4 races that I remember just load up. We wouldn't race.
Yep.
Something was telling us to load up, do not race.
Yep.
I remember one time we didn't listen, right, to the racing gods and fixed a rocker arm. It's a simple rocker arm, Changed it out, went out there,
Blew the motor.
blew the motor.
No, I mean,
That was the last time.
I had that happen too. I mean, I had for my last season I raced was 2007, and we went out for test and tune. And we're out and test and tune. You have to go out and pack the track. So I'm out there packing track, and I did about 2 or 3 laps just packing track. And on the 3rd lap, all of a sudden it was like, damn, like this thing ain't steering worth. Like this thing ain't steering worth. You know what? And I'm like, I'm having to fight this thing at pace lap speed going down the straightaway. I'm like, what the hell? Something's going on here and everything like that. So I pulled into the pits and, of course, come in. Pit crew's like, what the hell are you doing? And it's like, I said, there's something wrong in the steering. I said, I don't know if it's the steering box, what it is. Well, we popped the hood open, and the left front upper control arm mount that was welded on the frame, well, the
Broke.
whole control arm and the mount was laying on the control arm, like the rough front wheel was laid over. Friggin' the mount came right off the frame. So we didn't even get to test and tune. We had to limp the thing back on the trailer and took it back home and spent 4 hours welding the upper A-frame mount back on the frame.
Yeah. Well, that I reckon the crew I help, of course, the owner of Jersey Muffin Tires and my cousin that drives the race car. I reckon they're getting away from the go kart days, and I think we're going back stock car racing. So really looking forward to that and stuff. Still going to aim for the 35 the 35 races next year for 35 tracks. I'm gonna reach out. There's one guy that I think that might be running the Hell Tour next year in the modified that I might have a chance to maybe catch a couple weeks and go to 3 or 4 racetracks in a week. So that'll cut that 35 race deficit down pretty quick and stuff. But we're gonna make our final 4 picks. We did it before the season or before the playoffs started, but we're going to scratch that now. As they run right now, Matt, who do you think moves on to the championship 4?
Kyle Larson,
Given.
Chase Elliott,
Given.
Kyle Busch,
I don't know about that one.
and Denny Hamlin. There will not be a Ford in the championship 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Larson's given. I think he'll probably lock by race 2, point lock into race 2. Because he's got 63 points above the cut now. So, I mean, not above the cut, but he's 63 points above everybody else right now. So, I think he's safe. Now, one bad race, he's done. He's struggling again. I think you're going to put Larson in there.
Oops, I pissed off Michael.
I'm not going to go Logano because I still don't think Logano gets in. But
well, that just sealed Logano getting in.
Yeah, probably. I have a feeling that Blaney might run good at one of these tracks. I think Blaney might run good at Texas or Kansas. He's not too shabby at Martinsville.
No.
But I think you had to put Chase Elliott back in there for Championship 4 and Hamlin. I don't think Kyle Busch makes it.
Right now, what I'm concerned about for the rest of the field is that, and I told Willie this because I heard, at least I know for sure, the 24 car, now I know they're not in the playoff picture anymore, but they are bringing back the same car they ran at Vegas to Texas. And they are also have said that it has gone and they have improved it better than what it was. They made some more changes to it.
So you're telling me in the fantasy I need to start all Hendrick cars in the fantasy?
Listen, when we went to Texas for the All-Star race,
was that a same package, or is that a experimental package?
The only difference was that they ran 510 horse instead of 550.
And did they run some kind of air ducts?
Nope. Just the difference in horsepower. That was it.
Oh, okay.
And I am telling you guys, the rest of the field looked like they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Right.
And if Hendrick got better since they ran Texas the last time, yikes. Everybody's going to be racing for 5th.
Yeah, you're right. I still think Blaney has a shot to get in because if they can run, he's probably got one of the best crew chiefs on top of the box.
Yeah,
and
he does.
Todd Gordon probably wants to go out in style because he's not going to be back next year.
No.
Is he going TV?
I don't know. He's, as far as I heard, he was just retiring. So, but I haven't heard if he's going to.
They still got to replace Jeff Gordon. They ain't announced him yet, unless Larry Mack's going back in the booth, which I wouldn't mind that at all. But
well, Kevin Harvick, there's a seat there waiting for you because I think that's where you need to go. But hey, that's my own opinion. Ouch!
Hey! What did Chase Elliott say? I'm gonna tell you something. He is selling T-shirts on his website.
Have a merry off season and a happy Christmas. Oh, it was classic. It was an absolute classic.
I'm not a Chase Elliott fan, but son, he won that battle.
Oh,
sorry, yeah. He won that battle. But we're not going to do best or worst of the week because, of course, we just ain't going to do it. But what are we going to do next show? We're going to do next show.
Next show we'll be previewing the Championship 4.
Championship 4. Yep.
So
I still have tickets to go to Martinsville. I still have tickets.
That will be the week of the
7th.
I gotta think here. No, that's the week of the 31st to the 6th. Yeah. Championship race is the 7th. So, and the show will not be on the 1st. I know that. I don't know, but it will not be on the 1st.
Yeah, it might be a Thursday or Friday show, to be honest with you. Only reason because my nephew starts college basketball that week. So I might be in, I think his first game is in Alabama. I think it's close to Huntsville, Tuscaloosa.
Well, And
So
if I did the podcast on my birthday, my wife would probably kill me. So
probably, I'd say you're probably right. So I still got tickets to Martinsville. I did tell the wife if I have not sold them that I might just drive up on Saturday and come back on Sunday night after the race. That's 12
yeah,
hours
ain't
of
you
drive.
friggin' crazy not to go to that race anyway? Hell, Dale Jr. said you're crazy not to go to that race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just long drive. You know, I did tell you Allegiant canceled my flight, right? Did I tell you that?
You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah. I'm sitting there working, I pulled my phone out and it says Allegiant flight so and so canceled. 28th Allegiant flight canceled. November 1st or no October 31st canceled. I'm thinking, here's the funny thing. Okay? It said I had 72 hours to transfer my ticket to any Allegiant flight anywhere I want, cost free. I could transfer it to Bora Bora for what I paid. I'm going through there. Oh, yes. I can't wait. There's my damn $270 Daytona ticket for $150. Go through it. I get through the final step. I swear I thought I hit the go button to do it all. Didn't do it. I get an email 72 hours later. Your flight has officially been canceled. Here's your final rundown. They charged me $50 for canceling a flight that I didn't cancel.
I
I
hope you.
will. I will
I
never.
hope you will. I hope you will fight that one.
I will never fly Allegiant again. So I'm going to rent a car through Toro this time. I'm going to try Toro out because it's cheaper rental prices because you're renting a car from an actual individual, not a rental company.
Right.
So I'm going to try that one, and then I'm going to fly into the main airport in Orlando. So I would fly into Daytona, but it's just so high to fly into Daytona. I just don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to fly into the main airport in Orlando and fly Southwest if they get that Southwest deal underway. If they can't figure it out by February, something wrong, right? So still looking forward to that. I don't know. I really don't want to. I don't want to go to Martinsville. I want to go to Martinsville, but I don't want to go to Martinsville. Only reason because my youngest is so excited about Halloween. This is his first year that he's so excited about Halloween. I kind of want to stay home, but I don't want these tickets. This is a ticket that's rolled over 2 years for rainout from the 2019 Daytona race. It rolled over to Martinsville of 2020, and well, guess what? They didn't allow no visitors into Virginia that year, so it rolled over to 2021. So, guess what? Now I'm probably about to lose it. I already lost $150 because it was a $200 ticket. My Martinsville ticket for both days, including a child ticket, and I wasn't going to take my boy anyway. I don't know why I did it, but it was $116. So I lost $90. Woman said, you're not going to get the $200 value, even if you do all that. It's like, all right, that's fine. I did it. Now I ain't going to get to go. I'm hoping it sells out and says, I need somebody comes over. I need a Martinsville ticket. I got you one. $100. You're not going to go to no track on the cup schedule. Martinsville, there's not a bad seat in the house at Martinsville. It's like Bristol. There's not a bad seat in the house. So somebody's getting a steal. They just don't want to buy it. But
Willie's got a ticket for sale, everybody. If you're interested, send
Martinsville ticket, $100. My loss, your gain. Somebody come take it.
There you go.
That's all I got to say. Guys, it's been fun.
Tune in to the Mid-South Sports Report 200 on
Mid-South.
the No Toad YouTube channel. Broadcast starts at 8:15.
We will
Central,
pin it. I think I will pin the link to the page. I will get the link. can you contact Gary or
I
Greg?
got
Gary.
I've got the link. I already got the link. I'll send it to you.
Well, just pin it to the page. Get on the
All right.
page, pin it.
Yeah, we'll pin it there.
We'll pin it to the page. Everybody, get on there. Tell the broadcasters you're rooting for Matt. So get that W, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a long 200 laps. That place, it wears you out. I mean, yeah,
It
I know
does.
I know it's a sim. I know it's a sim, but I'm gonna tell you something. It wears you out.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Willie. Michael is a really good spotter, and I'm looking forward to having him watching out because he's really good at predicting the runs, and that's helped me on a couple races already. So,
And
and
I'll
then
be
it'll
and
be
I'll
nice
be
that you'll be there too. So,
I'll be there, kind of keeping tabs on who's who's fast behind you
yeah.
and stuff. So, guys, been fun. Tune in the week of the 31st. We'll probably announce what day it's going to be on the week before. Um, the week before that we do it, we'll do that. We're going to do a show before the championship four and then a show after the championship race, do a recap. And then I think we're going to do one show probably in December sometime. I'm thinking somewhere in December just to kind of catch up on all the off-season news and what changes, stuff like that. And then we'll start back Daytona 500 and it'll be weekly.
We'll probably. I think we're gonna have to probably do one show in January too because they're doing quite a bit of testing in January. So we'll probably do
Yes.
one show in January, and then our first show will be before
Yes.
the
Daytona
Coliseum,
500.
before the LA
Coliseum.
Coliseum race.
Yes. Yes.
That will be the
How
that will
many
be the
cars
first
you
show.
really think shows up at the Coliseum? How many cars you think? Is it just for charter cars or anybody?
Definitely, I know all the charter cars will be there.
So you had 36 cars.
We're gonna have 36 for sure, and I think there'll be more than that. I think we're probably gonna get 40 cars show up.
You think just somebody like a rich
Well,
LA person might throw a car together just to
I
run it?
mean, we know right now, like, I mean, you're thinking not open cars, right? Well, GMS, I don't think has a charter yet. So,
No.
but he'll be there.
Right. They're running full schedule.
They're running full schedule. I mean, honestly, I think you're going to have a 40 car field. I honestly think it's going to
They're
probably be
not
a
going to
40.
start 40 cars
They're
in the
not
feature.
starting 40. No, it's going to be a heat race. This is supposed to be a short track Saturday night kind of deal. Is how
But
they're doing.
this is what they said. This is going to be just like the Open in the All-Star race because all your playoff guys, I'm thinking playoff guys are top
Playoff
16.
guys are locked in.
Playoff guys are locked in. So there's
Playoff
16
guys are locked
spots
in. Yeah.
are locked in. So then
Yeah.
I think they're only going to start probably 24. I think that's all
Yeah.
you're probably going to start 24. So you got,
Yeah.
so it'll be fun to watch. Hell, I don't know. We might have a watch party.
Yeah, there you go.
Idea.
There you
Maybe
go.
do something. Guys, appreciate y'all tuning on. Catch us the week before the championship race, and we'll see you then.
And don't forget to tune in this Sunday, boys. We need all the support and help that we can get because we're looking for this W.
Drop if you do tune in Sunday. Drop that you heard it on Mid South Sports Report. So give us all the shout out we can get. So
Yep. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later.
see you.